Today we're going to learn to solve equations using multiplication and division. Let's review how we did problems using addition and subtraction. Let's look at number 1. Z minus -4 equals 8. We know that two negatives make a positive. I now have z plus 4 equals 8. To get rid of the plus 4, I will put in a -4 on each side. This will give me z all by itself. The plus 4 and the minus 4 cancel. And an 8 and a -4 is positive 4. So z equals 4. Let's try another example. P plus 8 is -12. I want P alone. To get rid of the positive 8, I'm going to put in 8 negatives. Once I put in these 8 negatives, the positive 8 and the negative 8 cancel out, and P is equal to -20 because -12 and -8 give me -20. Let's move on. Today we're going to solve problems using multiplication and division. If I look at a simple problem like 7r equals 42, again, many of you will be able to do this in your head. We need you to show your inverse operations, show your steps, so that when you get into higher levels of algebra, you know how to complete these steps. First, I look at who is bugging r. The guy next to r is 7. 7 is bugging r by multiplying. The opposite of multiplying would be to divide. The inverse of multiplying is division. So I draw my division line. Now I can see that 7 divided by 7 is 1. I'm left with r by itself. And 42 divided by 7 is 6. Please copy this example down in your notes. Pause the movie now. Let's try the next example. X divided by -9 equals -3. I ask myself, who's getting in the way of x being by itself? And it's -9. -9 is getting in the way by dividing. The inverse operation, or the opposite of dividing, is to multiply. So I multiply both sides by -9. -9 divided by -9 cancels out to give me 1. I'm left with x by itself. Now I have to remember my rules for integers. I think about my triangle, and I know a negative times a negative gives me a positive. So my answer will be positive 27. Pause the movie now so that you can copy the second example into your notes. Let's try a few. On your paper, write practice and solve letter A. Pause the movie now. Okay, let's see what you got. -3b equals 24. I want b alone, all by itself. -3 is getting in the way by multiplying. The opposite is to divide. -3 divided by -3 is 1. I'm left with b by itself. 24 divided by -3 is positive divided by negative is a negative. So that is -8. Go back in your notes and make sure that you showed your steps for the inverse operations. If you do not show your steps, you will not get credit for solving these equations. Pause the movie now and try B and C. You will check these answers with your teacher in class tomorrow. Let's go on and try one more practice. A, r over -5 equals 10. -5 is bugging r by dividing. The opposite of dividing is to multiply. So I multiply both sides by -5. The 5's cancel. R is equal to 10 times negative 5 is negative 50. Again, notice how I show my inverse operations. I have to show my steps in order to receive credit. Pause the movie now and solve letters B and C. These will be checked in class tomorrow by your teacher. This concludes today's lesson on multiplying and dividing, on solving equations by multiplying and dividing.